In cases of multiple allelism, a single gene may have more than two alleles. Each individual still only carries two alleles because they are diploid. However, we will see more combinations of genotypes and therefore phenotypes because of these additional alleles. One well-known case of multiple allelism is in blood types in humans. In this case, we see that there are three possible alleles, A, B, and O. The A and the B alleles are both completely dominant to the recessive O. A and B are codominant with each other. Individuals can be one of four different blood types, type A, type B, type AB, or type O. These blood types are the phenotypes. Let's look at a summary of the blood types in humans. Remember, there are three possible alleles, A, B, and O. There are actually 6 possible combinations for genotypes. Remember, a genotype will only have 2 letters. An individual can be homozygous for A, having 2 A alleles. They can be heterozygous for A, having 1 A and 1 O. Individuals can be A, B. They can be homozygous for B, heterozygous for B, or type O, which is OO. When we look at the phenotypes, there are only 4 phenotypes corresponding to these 6 genotypes. So homozygous A and heterozygous A both correspond to type A blood. AB genotype is type AB blood. Homozygous B and heterozygous B are both type B blood. And the OO genotype is type O blood. Here's another picture of those combinations. Type A has 2 possible genotypes. Type B blood has 2 possible genotypes. Type AB blood has only 1 possible genotype, and type O blood has only 1 possible genotype. So, what are these genotypes actually coding for? The phenotype or blood type corresponds to proteins that are found on our red blood cells. Antigens are chemicals on the surface of the blood cells that act as a signpost to tell our immune system whether the cell belongs in our body or not. Antibodies are proteins found in the immune system that attack cells with foreign antigens, ones that our body does not recognize. When we look at a person who has type A blood, we see that they have type A antigens on their red blood cells. This means that their bodies are familiar with type A antigens and recognize that antigen as self. Because of this, these people will make type B antibodies. B antigens are unfamiliar or foreign to them, so their body will protect against it. If we look at a person who has type B blood, they make type B antigens on their red blood cells. Type B is their familiar or self signal. Because of that, they will make type A antibodies that will attack anything with antigen A on it. A person with type AB blood, remember A and B are codominant, so their blood cells will have both A and B antigens. Because both A and B are familiar to their body, they will make no antibodies. Type O has no antigens on their blood cells. They do not make A or B antigens. This means that both of those antigens are foreign to their body, so they will make both A and B antibodies. So what happens when we mix these antigens from different blood types? If you give a person with type B blood type A blood for a transfusion, their bodies will send out antibodies to attack that foreign antigen. This means that the blood will clot or coagulate in their vessels. This is a deadly condition. Blood type is very important, particularly if you have to have a blood transfusion. We can see that type A blood can receive blood only from other type A's or from type O's. They can donate to people with type A or to people with type AB blood. Type B blood can only donate to type B or to type AB. They can only receive blood from type B people or type O people. Type AB can only donate to other type AB bloods, but they can receive blood from any other blood type. This means that they are the universal receiver of blood. Type O is the universal donor. Because there are no antibodies made, type O blood can be given to any blood type. However, type O blood can only receive from other type O's. Alright, let's get down to some practice. We're going to do a few genetics problems looking at blood types. So blood types in humans are an example of both codominance and multiple alleles. So there are 3 alleles possible, A, B, and O. Okay, A and B are both dominant or codominant together, and O is our true recessive. So this problem, we have a man with blood type AB. So AB is the genotype, and he marries a woman who is homozygous for type A blood. So remember, homozygous means 2 of the same allele, and if she is type A, it means that she has to have 2 A alleles. Okay, so once we have our cross, we can put this into a Punnett square. So A, B for the man, A for the woman. And we fill in the Punnett square. Okay, and then we go back and answer the question asked. So what are the possible blood types of their children? So at this one, we're not actually looking for ratios, we just want to know the actual possibilities. So asking for blood types means that we're asking for phenotypes. So these kids can either be type A or they can be type AB. Here's another blood type question, and in this one we have our genotypes already given to us. So the man has the genotype AO, and he marries a woman who is type O blood, or genotype OO. So again, we're going to put those gametes into a Punnett square. So AO for the man, OO for the woman. Now we're going to fill in the boxes. So AO, AO, OO, and OO. Next, we go back to the question and actually answer what is asked. So what is the possibility that their child will have blood type O? So we look at the genotypes in our Punnett square. We see that there are 2 boxes with OO, which means that there's a 50% chance of the baby or the child having type O blood. So in this question, we have a man with type A blood and a woman who has type O blood. So for the man, we know that he has at least one big A, or A allele. The other one could be an A or an O. So he could be the genotype AA, or he could be AO. The female is type O blood, which means that her genotype is OO. Their son is also a type O blood, so genotype OO. Now, the easiest way to figure this problem out is to go ahead and plug what we know into a Punnett square. So we know that the female is OO, and we know that dad has at least one A allele. We don't know his second allele yet. So we can fill in the Punnett square with this information, and then we look at what we know of the son's genotype. So for us to be able to get a child with type O blood, the father has to have an O allele to give to his kids. This means that dad has to have the genotype of AO, so he is heterozygous for type A blood.